Meanwhile, on the other side of our Portland truck plant, the durable Western Star all-steel cab is being fabricated from amazingly tough and resilient high-grade galvannealed steel. Top-notch technicians and state-of-the-art robots cut and weld together what will ultimately become the industry's strongest and safest cab. This is the very beginning of the cab manufacturing process. Behind me is what's known as a peg-up jig. What they're doing is they are assembling by hand the very base of the cab, the floor. It is assembled by hand to ensure that every single part is in exactly the right place. From there, we add the firewall, sidewalls, back wall, and finally the roof. After these peg up, that's where you're going to see some of the only robots in the Western Star plant. And the reason that we're using robots to place those spot welds is that every spot weld will be put in exactly the same place every time. Each one of those locations for that spot weld is dictated by a cab engineer. So if there's a certain strength point that is required in that location, that's where it goes. And that's what gives us the strongest, most durable cab in the market. Behind me is a finished Western Star cab structure. This is what it looks like after it's finished the complete hand and robotic weld process. Western Star uses a super strong galvannealed steel cab. Most folk ask us, what is galvannealing? Well, galvannealing is very similar to galvanizing. Galvanizing and galvannealing both have steel dipped in 100% molten zinc as a hot coating. Now, galvanizing, it's just dipped and then it dries. So if you take a 3-inch doornail that's galvanized and you bend it, you'll see all that galvanizing flake off. What galvannealing is the steel is dipped in the 100% pure zinc, then it's attacked by air knives to get the excess off, and then it's baked at 1,000 degrees. Now, what occurs at that baking or annealing process is that the layer of zinc actually bonds into the steel. So you have a coating of 10% steel and 90% zinc. Now that you've got the metal transfer, you've got excellent paintability, you've got excellent spot weldability, and you can stamp it, and you can bend it, and it doesn't flake off. Western Star cab manufacturing process includes installing structural adhesive between all overlapping joints. Structural adhesive is very similar to JB Weld. Once it dries, in order to get it off, you have to take a grinder to it. It's that strong. Then, of course, as you saw before, we spot weld over top of that, a very, very strong structure. Now that the cab is completely welded up and it has the structural adhesive, it's ready for its next journey. Any exterior overlapping joint is going to be hand caulked with aluminized wax, which is a chemically inert material, and also when it dries, you're going to have to take a grinder to it in order to get it off. So we have galvannealing, we have structural adhesive, we have aluminized wax, and a double wall construction. We have the strongest cab in the market. In fact, recently we had to do a European crash test on our cab, and the roof supported over 22,000 pounds. For occupant safety, it's the best in the business.